Hello, this is Nick Perkins with ProWrestling.net. On my way to, I don't know why I'm talking like that. That's not how I talk. That's not my voice. I am on my way to Jack Dempsey's Bar and Restaurant in Manhattan, New York, for a watch party with I Like Wrestling in New York City. And I'm gonna be honest, this is my first time. I'm from Wyoming, so this is my first time driving into Manhattan, driving into New York City. Probably shouldn't be taking a video right now, to be completely honest with you. It's very irresponsible, and I don't recommend it. But I had to document the moment. I had to get it for posterity. My first time driving into Manhattan. I came to New York City like maybe 10 years ago. But I flew there and I had car service and all of that. It was my first time driving into the city. Even from the city that I live in now, which is in the Hudson Valley in the New York area. Way less traffic, more forest than skyscrapers. So this should be interesting, but I am excited for the drive. I am excited to get to Jack Dempsey's with I Like Wrestling with their special guest Ron Damn Simmons. And I always wanted to have a beer with the APA, and now it seems like I'm gonna get the chance to at least do it with one half of them. So I'm gonna go ahead and sign off before I die for texting and tweeting while driving. Don't do it, kids.
Good time. All right, so we're gonna get back to the action in a minute. Ron Simmons is here. If you'd like to meet him, make sure you make your way up to the fourth floor. He's here. He is doing his thing, and he's a freaking cool dude. You definitely gotta meet him. Definitely gotta take a photo with him, and you definitely gotta have a good time as you're here today at the Yep I Like Wrestling viewing party, hosted by Yep I Like Wrestling. Also, big shout out to ProWrestling.net, who's in the house tonight. Big shout out to them. Gotta check out their site. They always have the best news, and the news is there first. So everybody else go there first. Everyone else is fake too. All right. So also make sure you subscribe to us and follow us on everything. Just search YEPILW.
You don't need them.
Swagger.
You don't need them. So I'm standing here with the men and women from Yep I Like Wrestling. So obviously my first question is going to be, why? Why do you like wrestling?
I don't know.
Honestly, I do know. It's the superhero culture of it. I mean, as a kid, you see these big, giant dudes fight each other, good versus evil. Obviously, you're going to go for good unless you're a psychopath.
Oh, I don't know.
I like wrestling for the suspense of it, the entertainment part of it. Like when I was a kid, I grew up watching wrestlers like Hulk Hogan, Andre the Giant, Roddy Piper.
Sure.
But the wrestler that took my attention most was the Ultimate Warrior. He was bigger than life. So once Ultimate Warrior came into the scene, I just gravitated to him as a fan, and it just made me love wrestling as a whole.
Yeah, I feel like that's kind of how it is for like people our age, because he looks so much like a superhero.
Yes.
When you're a kid and you see this guy, you're like, oh my god, Batman, Superman, Ultimate Warrior.
Yeah, exactly. I
Yeah.
mean, wrestling tells so many different stories, both exciting stories, sad stories, horror stories, or even just great action in the ring. So
Love stories.
Yeah, exactly.
Shout out to Miss Elizabeth.
It's all about the stories. Yeah, how about you? What kind of...
It was, I'm a daddy's girl, and my dad was watching wrestling, and I wanted to be a part of it as well, and it was also the Ultimate Warrior, that's his guy, and it wasn't until I started getting violent in school that they realized that it probably wasn't the best idea, but you gotta love it, you gotta love the soap opera-ness of it, I think, especially for the women, and now we're finally getting women's empowerment, and you don't have little girls looking up to the whole train, so things are happening for us, and I feel like as it grows, you just love it even more.
The women's division in wrestling, that's another reason why I like wrestling.
Yeah, but that's a different reason.
Oh, yeah.
But since she brought up
I gave you,
she gave me the alley.
Yeah, the age of the whole train
Yes.
is no more. So tell me about kind of what Yep I Like Wrestling is. You guys do a podcast, you guys do videos. Tell me about it.
So yeah, I mean, basically, just quick background. The way it started was It started originally as a basketball group for a bunch of wrestling fans. It was a basketball discussion group, and we found out all of a sudden, hey, there's a bunch of wrestling fans in here. Let's do a wrestling group. The wrestling group, it took off because it's a very underserved community.
Sure.
And from there, we started doing viewing parties for another underserved community, and it just took off. And it just kind of led into everything else that we do. So now we do podcasts, we have merch, we have unprofessionalseason.com. We have Amazon
/YEPILW.
It's like you guys rehearsed that or something.
Yeah.
But I mean, honestly, it's about having a place for wrestling fans to get together. We're kind of an ostracized group, which is why the name is Yep, I Like Wrestling. The name started with, years ago when wrestling wasn't the end thing. You ask somebody, hey, are you a wrestling fan? And it was, yep, I like wrestling.
And now it's, yep, I like wrestling.
Because you flip the understated term into a battle cry. And that's why we're, yep, I like wrestling.
That's very, very cool.
And we've been in existence since September 2011, and we've had a host of a lot of people that have been to our parties. People like Mark Henry, Rikishi, Ron Simmons, Teddy Long, Prime Time, Marty Jannetty, Ortiz from LAX, and many others. Sonny, the big Hall of Famer Sonny.
And Dip Parted, Ashley Mazzaro, she came through.
Ashley
Teddy
Mazzaro,
Long.
Really?
Teddy Long.
We have Ron Simmons right now.
Ken Shamrock, Had It Right.
Oh, that's right, yeah.
Yeah, so we've had a long list of who's who in the wrestling business that have actually been to our parties or have participated in our events.
So what made you kind of hinted at it? What made you want to start doing these parties? Because this, I'm sure, is just a lot to prepare for and deal with.
It's kind of a throwback to one of my prior lives where I was a club promoter.
Okay.
Because I gotta say it was a prior life because it was a very different landscape.
Because it's over now.
Yeah, it's definitely.
Sure.
So, as a nightclub promoter, as a promoter in general, I've always done events. I get a rush from bringing people together and seeing people leave at the end of the night having an amazing time. And it's the biggest rush that I see from people when they come through, they have fun, we're on the mic, we're playing games, we're talking a lot of crap to everybody, and they leave and they're like, yo, I had such an amazing time. Because we're talking about people that don't have a lot of other people to watch wrestling with.
It's become a home.
Yeah, it's become a home.
It's a home
Exactly.
for
We've
all
even had
wrestling
people
fans.
meet here and end up married afterwards.
Yeah,
Like, they met
exactly.
they met
With
at the-
multiple kids, by the way.
Yeah, they met at the parties and they were married and they celebrated their wedding here
Wow.
with us.
On top of what Tara and Sonny just said, we've had people come in here by themselves, a little scared, they don't know what they're getting to, and then they meet other wrestling fans, and then the next party, they book their table with those wrestling fans that they just met for the first
Yeah,
party.
that table of 1 became a table of 7. I'm like, oh, you bring some more friends?
Table of
That's-
15.
Oh, well, yeah, well.
We've had tables in the 20s as well.
So you really are kind of bringing wrestling fans together.
Oh, yes.
Which is so cool. So about this one in general, you guys have been going at it for a few hours now. You got through the NXT show.
Yeah, it's been a long night.
Tell me about this. What are some of the highlights, the stressors, anything
What's really cool is to see everybody's level of fandom, because we've had some people here that were here strictly for NXT UK. Like they're like, yeah, I'm just here for NXT UK, and I was like, oh, okay. It's great, but it's a thing when you're kind of learning how other people are fans of a particular sect of the industry, and then you have people that are here strictly for AEW. And you have people that are here that don't follow either one, but they're here because they're just a wrestling fan and they just want to be around their people. So it's like when you have people that just want to be around their people. A lot of wrestling fans are really a wrestling fan because their friends aren't fans.
Right.
Yeah,
So
and I'm glad Sonny brought that up because we've encountered so many people that are not really wrestling fans, and they come to the parties just to check it out because they know one of us. And then they come out and they're wrestling fans.
Yeah.
Full-blown wrestling fans.
Remember when I brought all the girls here? I brought like 3 or 4 girls, but at the end
That's a dream
of
for a
the
wrestling
show,
fan.
they were all like cheering. I don't remember. You
Yeah,
were
you
not
weren't
at the
here.
table. It was my mom's birthday. Also, I celebrate my
Oh.
mom's birthday. Like we celebrate birthdays together.
Yeah.
We do it all.
Awesome.
It's a big old family, and I feel like once you feel welcome and you see how loving it is, and you don't feel ostracized, you don't feel bad for wearing your wrestling t-shirt. That I'll see people who don't wear wrestling t-shirts the first time they come here, and now they're walking through 34th Street loud and proud, and they couldn't care less.
Yeah, that's really cool.
And it's one of the coolest things has been just kind of like breaking down that I guess it's that perception. Oh, it's cheesy, it's corny, but
It's
when
fake.
I mean,
That's
whatever you
my
want to call it, yeah, exactly. Whatever you want to call it, at the end of the day, you come through, if the energy breeds energy.
Right.
And it just makes everything a lot better.
And I think nowadays we receive less of, you watch wrestling? Me personally, I'm receiving a lot less stuff like that. Now it's like, oh, you watch wrestling? Okay. You know, it's normal now because I think there's more wrestling fans and they're more outspoken, just like how Sonny and Tyler were outspoken.
Yeah, and as we get older, like we're kind of to the point where we're just like, fuck it, I don't care. Like I like what I like. Who
Yeah,
cares?
exactly.
Oh, it's so good. Once you hit a certain age and you're like, oh, well, this is me, this is who I am.
Now,
Take it or leave
when
it.
we first started Yep, I Like Wrestling, there were people that were laughing at us. Specifically, to me, people I personally know, I'm sure Sonny
that
can
always
relate to it.
That
it
always
always
happens,
happens.
'cause they're too
People are
cool.
laughing, and those same people that are laughing are actually accepting us doing this. And they're like, yeah, man, I remember Hulk Hogan. I remember Bret Hart. Yeah, man. And they try to be,
Love
cool.
to drop
Yeah.
Hulk Hogan.
Yeah.
Favorite.
Hulk Hogan or
I got some
Bret Hart.
friends here right now that they were in town, not for I mean, they came through to Jack Dempsey's on 36 West 33rd Street between 56th Avenue.
Nice.
Cheap boy.
They came specifically just to hang out with me and have some drinks because they were in town, and they're like, yeah, I didn't know wrestling was like this.
They were, I was chatting with them, I got to meet them, and they were like, so you actually watch wrestling and you know about it? I was like, yeah, I'm actually on the podcast with Sonny. And they were like, so you watch it? Like, yeah, no, I kind of like it. Yeah, it's
Yep.
great. Yep, I like wrestling.
How do you get it?
Yeah.
You got it.
Now you see where the name comes in. Dao, I may need you to take a quick to use his camera to take a photo.
Alright, I'll give you my bill.
All right, we got Kevin here.
Kevin, get your ass over here. The dude,
I
man.
need to get it. Bro.
We're doing the nation.
I want to
We're doing the nation. I'll be D'Lo. Kev will be Owen Hart.
Yo, Kevin's Owen Hart. Kevin's Owen Hart.
Right, one more. Right hand.
God damn it.
The other right. Your other right.
I'm gonna give him a minute. Just go ahead, man. Let me give you
Your
a
other
minute.
right.
I got mine
You
around
let me
it.
know when you ready.
Kev, don't straighten your hand.
There you go.
Yeah.
Y'all remember, bro.